Hello lovelies, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if this is your first time of stopping by. I say welcome. Please consider subscribing to my channel. To my old subscribers, I say thank you very much for always supporting me. So we will be making this beautiful ball gown for our princesses today. If it's something you are interested in, please watch to the end, and I will see you at the end of the video. So for this style, we'll be making use of our brown pepper. Sorry that the brown pepper is rumpled in a way. So we'll be using this brown pepper because of the design there. So I'm just marking out my zipper allowance for the style. And the next thing I'm going to do is to mark my half length, which is 11 inches plus 1 inch allowance for joining. Then I'm going to go ahead and mark my So the first thing I'm going to do is to take my bust measurement from the first line. The first line is the center front. So I'm going to take my shoulder measurement, which is 12 inches divided by 2, and that same 12 inches divided by 2, which is 6 inches, is what I'm going to go down with for my armhole depth, and that is just what I just marked. So for my neckline, I'm going down by 2.5 inches by 2.5 inches, and I will make a curve for a round neck. Then for my shoulder slope, I went down by 1 inch, and I'm going to go ahead and connect it to my neckline. Then after that, I'm going to go ahead and start taking my circumference measurement, and I'll start by taking my bust measurement divided by 4 plus my allowance 2 inches or 1.5 inches depending on what you want. Then for my waistline, I'll also divide it by 4, and I'll mark there plus my allowance. I'm going to add all my allowance in the pepper and before cutting it out. Then I'm going to go ahead and connect the line, and then make a curve for the armhole. And also for the back measurement, I went down by 1.5 inches because that's what I'm going to cut first before cutting the front bodice. And that's all for the bodies. I'm cutting the back and the front together. Hope you understand this. And that's all for the front body. For the bodies, I mean, please give me a thumbs up as you go on. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't subscribed to my channel. So for this for the fabric, I'm going to transfer what we just cut to my fabric, and I'm cutting the back one first before the front one. And as you can see, I did not cut my front neckline. I'm going to cut the back one first before then removing the zipper and the front and cutting the front neckline, just like I'm doing in now. And I'm going to transfer it to my fabric and then cut it out. And remember, my fabrics are on fold. So for the design at the front, I'm going to go down by 3 inches plus half inch allowance. But after stitching this down, I saw that is a little bit higher than I wanted it, so I reduced it more by 4 inches. That means if you just saw me mark to 3 inches, that means you're going to mark 4 inches all round. That's from that neckline. Also where it joined at the center front, you still go down by 1 inch there. That's 1 inch for that curve. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say, though. Just where I just touched now is where you're going to reduce 1 inch more. And while cutting to your fabric, you're going to add half inch there for joining, for folding. And really, it doesn't even require half inch there. because we didn't fold that part, we just stitched it down, so there's no need adding that half inch I just added. Just cut it exactly the way it is by reducing the half inch. But if you have a younger a younger, if you're making this for a younger person, you can leave it at 3 inches. So for the flare we are going to go ahead and cut our flare, and my fabric is folded into 4, and this flare I want it to have excess so that I can gather it at the waistline. So that's why the first thing I did is to mark my measurement, which is 10 inches, 10.5 inches, half inches for joining. Then I'm going to go ahead and mark the remaining length. I just want to make sure that the length I have is enough for my my length. Then the remaining one is what I'm going to mark round. I hope you understand what I'm trying to do here. Then I measured it to see what I have there. So the next thing I'm going to do is to go ahead and mark down my length that I marked earlier, all round, just like I marked the my waist measurement all round. Then I'm going to go ahead and measure the down part of it. This will help me know the amount of lace I'm going to cut out for this so whatever I got there, I'm going to multiply it by 4, because my fabric is folded into 4, and whatever I got after multiplying it is what I'm going to cut out for my lace for the down part of it. Then going into the sewing tutorial, after all the cutting, the first thing I'm going to do is to place the lace on top of the ankara fabric and use my pin to hold it in place before stitching it down. I'm making sure that I arrange everything well, and then use my pin to keep it in place. It makes your work a lot more easier than going to stitch it without pinning it down. Then I'm going to stitch all the way down. I'm not folding anything, just stitch it the way it is on top of the ankara fabric. And the next thing I'm going to do, since I don't have lining, I cut out my front bodice into 2, the same with my back bodice. But if you have lining, you can use lining to do this. You guys will say I always don't have lining. So I'm going to go ahead and pin this as well, and then stitch at my neckline and at my armhole to turn it inside out. And I also have my back one into 2 as well. I'm going to stitch at my armhole and at my neckline as well, and I'll do the same thing for the other side. And this is it after stitching everything down, both the back and the front. Then I'm going to remove my pins, notch my neckline and my my armhole before turning it inside out. And I also did the same thing for the back one. So this is it after turning. So after I was done turning it inside out, I'm going to go ahead, arrange my shoulders. You can iron this down if you have the time. I was so much in a rush, so I pinned it down and then stitch my shoulders down. So the next thing I'm going to do is to arrange the bodies together, that's the front and the back together, then take out my zipper allowance. Then after I was done doing that, I'm going to go ahead and shape my two side. And to shape this, I just decided to show you guys, you're going to mark from the shoulder to the armhole length, which is shoulder divided by 2, which is 6 inches. Then at that 6 inches we just marked, you're going to measure from one side to the other side, your round bust measurements, that divided by 2. And when you measure it, you mark it, then you measure the remaining excess there and divide it by 2. When you divide it by 2, you mark half of it at the right side and half of it at the left side, just like I'm doing in the video. And then you're going to connect the line, but at the armhole it's going to have a little bit of slant there, just like my hand moved when I showed you. You look at the video where you see what I'm trying to say. So after stitching it down, I said to cut out a little bit of excess. This was much. I think I have about more than 2 inches or 2 inches there, so I reduced it by ½ inch before I proceed. And we are done with the bodies. The next thing you are going to do is the flay. So we are going to open up the center, one side of the flay, to serve as the center back. Then after I'm done opening it, I'm going to run a stitch at the upper part, and then gather it to be my exact waist measurement plus the zipper allowance. You're going to measure to make sure you are getting it. Then I also gathered my bridal satin, so I'm going to add a little hard net to it. This hard net, my sister, is not hard anything or my brothers, is not hard, it's so soft these days. So I'm going to go ahead and mark and I have excess for it because I want to plait it inside the skirt, the down part. So I marked the center and made a notch at the center of the net. I'm also making a center at the center of the flame. Then I'm going to go ahead and pin those centers together. Then I'm going to go ahead and pin everything at the zipper side. Remember that when gathering my fabric, I don't usually gather my zipper allowance. I just leave my zipper allowance alone. So I'm going to go ahead and pin the two ends with the hard net. So when I'm going to stitch this down, I'm going to plait the hard net into what I'm doing. That's wherever I want this plate to be, I'm going to plait it as I sew. But you can as well do it before going to your machine, but I just find this one easier for me, so I'm going to plait it into it at each side. And this is it after I was done stitching it down. This is the hard net inside and the ankara and the bridal satin. Then the next thing I'm going to do is to attach and this lace is a straight cotton lace, no flay, it's just a straight cotton lace. I'm going to place the front part facing the front part of the ankara, and then pin them together before I go to my sewing machine to stitch it all the way from one end to the other one. And this is it after stitching it down. If your own is where you stitch it down is pulling, you can top stitch it there, but my own is okay, it's not pulling anything, so that's why I did not top stitch it. So the next thing I'm going to do is to attach this to my bodice. When I measured it, I have exactly what I want, so there's no need getting the center and pinning it down. I just added pin the two ends together and then stitch it to my bodice. Okay, what I'm showing you guys now is to reduce your back measurement when sewing a ball gown. I don't know if I talked about it in my other video of ball gown. You're going to reduce your back measurement by 0.5 inches. That's ½ inch. You're going to reduce it to then slant it to meet the center seam allowance, the center seam seam. So that's what I just showed you, and then I attach the bodice to the skirt. So the next thing I'm going to do is to prepare the ball gown for the zipper. So the first thing I'm going to do is to stitch down from wherever I want my zipper to stop. I'm going to stitch this layer by layer, just like we did at our did for our ball gown. I'll stitch the ankara first, stitch the hard net, and also stitch the bridal satin one after the other, just like I'm showing you guys. Then I'll go ahead and attach my zipper to it. And this is it after I was done stitching and then attach my zip. So the next thing you're going to do is to attach to put our beads. Is it called beads, pearls, whatever it's called, whichever you have, please make use of it. So this is what I'm going to be using to beautify this ball gown with my hot glue. I already plugged it and it has heated up. So I'm going to place this all around that v-neck, and I'm going to have double line of it. If you are making use of this hot glue, I'll advise you are a little bit careful. It's very hot, and apart from that, it's very hot, is kind of messy. Sorry about the way I speak. I have braces and other things on my teeth, so is a bit messy if you are not careful with it. So I decided to zoom this so that you guys will see what I'm trying to do. So I'll apply my gum, then place the bead on where I just applied the gum. And I continued doing this until I was done with the whole line. And that's all for this style. It's looking beautiful, right? Yes, it's looking beautiful. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give me a thumbs up. Please share my videos to family and friends, invite them, subscribe to my channel if you haven't subscribed to my channel. Please support me in any way, and leave a comment below if you have any question, any suggestion, any video you want me to do. Please leave a comment below and I'll make sure I make that video for you. Thank you very much, and I will see you in my next video.